What's the word, y'all? It's Werds Illah, aka Drew Skills, aka Ill Doing It Too. And I am here again with my good friend and close collaborator, somebody who kind of helped me get into this a little bit and push my buttons a little bit and always is there to kind of provide us a motivation in some ways. As I hope I am with him, you know what I'm saying?
Putting a very friendly fire under that ass.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're doing your job.
There you go. It is none other than B Dizz Da Rockstar of Super Obvious.
Yo, what's up, man? B Dizz Da Rockstar, part of Super Obvious. That was a really good intro. I almost didn't even have to introduce myself.
I mean, that was kind of the idea.
That's good stuff already, man.
Yeah, try to start off nice. So basically, what this whole idea was, when I got here with my man right here. I mean, we obviously are, close friends. We've been around each other, done a lot of different work together, from music to sharing ideas about different things that we've had in mind about anything from, podcasting or just video editing or anything. We've shared ideas and different views on social media or music and whatever. So we got together and I was like, man, I need to know about what your process is like. I need to know a little bit more about how you kind of started out and what are your views for what you see for yourself in the future. So I'll start with let's just start with present day. Let's start with what you have right now. Let's start with all the overlays I've seen you do. Now this is talk maybe some people don't get, but with the video that you recently put out about your predictions for SummerSlam of 2018, go to the Super Obvious channel, obviously, and watch that video. You have the overlay where it looks like it's on a phone. It almost looks like it's on an iPhone. And then you also have the screen up top in the corner where it's showing different pictures talking about specific things that you're, directly talking about. This is like, to you, I'm sure, like your biggest accomplishment at this point. You've been able to kind of get to this point where now you see so much more, but this is like concrete. It's out there. People can see it, So what is it that you think has given you, that push to just keep getting to knowing more about the program, to really just advancing on everything that you do? What has been the thing that you think has been that push for you?
First off, that is the best intro question in
altogether
ever.
I do it all together.
Ever. Any kind of interview. Any interview you ever have, the intro question for your guest should be at least a little bit like that.
You show your people you respect, and they show it back. So
you're already learning stuff, and I haven't even explained anything yet. God, any other person would know where to start, but I kind of know what to do.
So let's go.
All right,
let's get to it.
Very nice introduction question, my man.
So
thank you very much.
What do you think it is, man? What has been that push for you?
So what's been going on is I've learned to use a lot of software. Some of it has been easy to learn. Some of it has been not as easy. As far as the content that I'm making now, the main programs that I'm using is Photoshop and Movavi.
Right.
I have other programs such as Lightworks. I still make my beats in FL Studio. There's way newer versions of that, which we can get into in a little bit.
We definitely can.
But I mean, making really cool videos is really fun. It takes a lot of work, but knowing that it's like when you're trying to be a creator of any kind of content at all, when you know that you've learned something that you can use to be a new standard for what any kind of content that you have beyond this video, the next one, that is probably one of the most rewarding feelings as a content creator.
Absolutely.
When you know how to make something that you didn't know how to do before, that's like, it's the best feeling in the world. If you're not super famous from this yet, if you're not making a whole bunch of money from this yet, when you know you're capable of a certain amount of things when it comes to making content, it's gold, man.
Right.
It's really gold.
I think it's shown. For me, I can watch as a viewer. This is what I'm doing this for. Is like, again, this is for me to give a chance to give other people their props for what they've done. Is as I've watched, the progression of what you've done, and how much better you've gotten at chopping videos, and how much better you've gotten with your overlays and putting your logo in there, and making sure that you put your social media platforms in there, and really just pushing forward with making sure you put these names and these links and these tags in people's faces so that they see it, so that you can get a bigger audience. And we talked earlier about that, about how to build audiences. You've had audiences through different times. I mean, even from MySpace days. So
when it comes to social media, man, I've pretty much thrown everything out there for the longest time.
Right.
Like before Super Obvious, I actually have several YouTube pages with different like songs, beats, skits, random recording videos.
Actually, you can't really hear it too much in the background, but right now we're playing from his B Dizz Da Rockstar page, his B Dizz page. He's got 64 followers on there, and this is just beats on here. He's put up multiple beats, like multiple
yeah.
beats.
The followers isn't nothing to brag about, but what is to brag about is how much content I have on the channel.
Continuous content.
There's like dozens and dozens of beats on a channel that I use for right now background music. But yeah, we've been doing stuff forever, man. Like we've performed all over Virginia Beach and Norfolk and Chesapeake and shit. Where else, man? Like
a bunch of places, man. Like I said, we just we've expanded ourselves in different areas of things that we've never maybe put too much attention to. Not that we never really did, because I mean we did this. I have you can look up on YouTube on Spring ENT09. And that's an old page I have that I never really look at.
Throwback
too much
joint.
But that's old stuff, from back in 2009, 2010, 2011. I mean, we were out performing and being at things, as much as we possibly could, almost like at least once a week, So, we put in work. But again, this is more about, for me, looking at what my man here, B Dizz Da Rockstar, has been doing. It was Super Obvious, from the gaming to the wrestling, It seems you're a lot more heavy on the wrestling right now. Like that kind of is like a lot more of your focus, and like kind of been where you've been putting a lot more attention. Is that something that you thought of, or it just kind of was something that was a lot easier for you to kind of like do because you didn't have to think about it as much? Or...
Right. Yeah. So like when it comes to making content, sometimes the best content that comes out is something that's naturally what you want to do or talk about.
Absolutely.
So someone as me who creates content, I'm all over the place. Like, hey, do I want to do music production? Do I want to do gaming? Do I want to do a video that requires me to do a lot of editing? Mm-hmm. Making content where I have to do a whole lot of editing is kind of been like the main thing I want to do. And since I do like wrestling, anyone who likes wrestling, this week is super epic for wrestling fans. There's SummerSlam, there's the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view, which happens Saturday, tomorrow. It's a really, really, really big week. I mean, me, honestly, I've been a music producer for over a decade. Like making music, making beats is like, and with this whole like YouTube channel stuff that we're doing, like it's making me be like, making my content on a higher level. It's making me like raise the bar, push my boundaries, do things that I couldn't probably do a year ago.
Absolutely.
A couple years ago.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot of expanding ourselves. I think that's a big part of like, that's why I use that as a tag a lot, is expansion. You never want to be too still for too long. It's definitely necessary to sit still sometimes and like kind of download, so to speak, like take a time to like get some updates, if you will, for yourself.
Soak it all in,
yeah,
man.
Exactly. Relax a little, kind of just take in whatever's been going on in your life and like really deal with it in a real way. But it's also good to push yourself to do more and to present yourself in a better way as much as you can. So I definitely have watched as you've continued to do what you've been doing and pushing yourself to just better yourself. It makes me have to like really figure out what are the things that I can do to make mine better, because it's good that we can have that, this friendly competition of like pushing to help each other do as much as we can in all different arenas of what we know we can do. I just, like I said earlier, I just wrote a verse. I haven't written a verse in a long time, but it was good to just
been a long ass time for me
to really put in the time, you know, and do something that I feel like I could record it if I wanted to and put it out, and I would feel good about it, you know. But that's how I feel when I watch everything that you do. Is like I can tell everything you're doing is like it's another step up from what you've done before, to where it just, if I watch it, you know, I have a different connection to it, I think. But I think other people, even who don't know you maybe as much, can watch it and say, man, this guy's like, you know, really putting the work in and putting the time in, and you know.
And
that's the biggest thing that we need to do right now.
That's really cool you said that, because that's actually probably one of the biggest points that I try to nail every video that I do. Like, now honestly, man, if we're gonna keep talking for a little bit, I just when we talk about do we have a time limit?
No, man, go for it, man. You know, we can edit all this. We can whatever this may be, man. We can always go back.
Yeah, so it's like when you're asking me the questions about what I've learned, it's one of the coolest things when you've like learned something that you can do. Like that's what I want. If I like you, if I subscribe to your channel, if I watch any of your videos, if you do anything that kind of has me like, oh, I saw what they did there. I kind of don't know how they did it, but that was really cool. Yeah. It kind of keeps your brain going, like, because like recording all this content.
Finding the sweet spot for what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, finding your niche, if you will, your niche, or however you decide to pronounce it. It's up to you. It's fine. Free for interpretation. But the problem that most people have is they decide to do things that are based off of what they've seen or heard other people think of, and don't take much time to really decide what they feel, you know, and that's where we run into a lot of issues of what we have right now. I think is where we're getting monotony, we're getting the same, or at least that's what's projected on a larger scale. So it gets harder for people who are I self-proclaim this may be self-deprecating, if you will, but for myself and for what my man B Dizz, I'm sorry, does is, you know, we're original. We obviously are gonna have elements of other people, but we stand alone on ourselves of who we are and what we believe in and what we think and what we feel, and every moment that changes. You know, today I'm not the same as I was yesterday, so you might not get the same answers I had yesterday today. It's just the way it works. But there's a lot of people, I think, go off of what they think is trendy or cool, and that's what's good about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, to me, you're finding the ways to do things that obviously other people like. It's impossible to say.
Obvious.
Super obvious, right? Look at that. See how I just did that?
See what you did there?
It's super obvious that there's a lot of people who like wrestling, the WWE and all of that, but in the way that you do it, it's specific for you and how you feel it. And then you have your beats, and then you have the gaming, and then you've had the trailer reactions, and you know, you're continuously pushing yourself to do new things, and that to me is what this is all about. Is I really want to show respect and love to the people around me that I see doing great things and really pushing themselves. It pushes me, it makes me want to do more, and then I like to see how it makes everything get better. You know, once you have one person doing it, you get two people doing it, you know, like to pay it forward. Once two people do it, then they tell two people more, and that tells 4, and that tells 6 and 8 and 12. It just goes on. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
man.
What I've been doing with my content is, even if I'm kind of presenting something that you're not super big on, I try to add my personality and presentation to where you might like it, even if you're like, you might like how I present the content, not necessarily what the content is.
Absolutely.
Like my personality can sell a video even if you don't like,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like what I'm doing.
And that's kind of where this all stems from, is when you're more of who you are, you attract all of those things that you need, you know. So when you push forward these ideas that you already inherently think of, you know, you think of wrestling, you think of music, you think of The Walking Dead, you think of, you know, all these things that you've already done content on, that shows to people like, look, this is what I think of, this is who I am. So those things are going to come to you. Those people that think those same things or like those same things will come to you, and you'll build a fan base based off of that, and it becomes easier, you know, to just maintain what you are.
Me as like a YouTuber, I mean, as I said earlier, my whole life has been on social media forever.
I mean, yeah,
like
a lot of us feel like that,
I
right?
expose myself completely. Like, right. I'm not really worried about anything. I throw everything out that I want to. Either you like it or you don't. If you don't, you dismiss me. If you like it, you'll probably love my stuff.
There you go.
And as far as like YouTube, man, that's actually that's what I do. I am myself. I don't have to pretend to be anything. So if you want to be around someone who likes a whole bunch of different stuff, you know, asshole, shit talking, goofing around, that is me. I'm like, this is how I am. Like, anytime you see me, I feel like if you find me and if you actually like me, you'll love me. That's usually how it is. If you don't, then you don't, and then that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
And with that, I just want to say I appreciate anybody who has liked, subscribed, shared, commented, anything on this channel.
Definitely.
This is the Werds Illah podcast. Myself, Werds Illah, with my good friend, my brother right here, B Dizz Da Rockstar.
That's me.
Of Super Obvious. Y'all subscribe to his channel. Y'all gotta do it right now, man. It'll be in the link right here. Y'all put a link. I'll put a link right down in these comments. I mean, in the description. Y'all look down there. Find it.
Yo, subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, something bad might happen.
Might be terrible.
If you don't subscribe to my channel, you might wake up and then lose all your subscribers.
All of them.
If that happens, that's on you, man. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to his channel.
Subscribe to the channel.
Otherwise, everyone's gonna unsubscribe to your channel.
That's just how it goes, man.
You're not gonna have a channel
That's how
anymore.
It is. You know what it is, man.
Anytime you make a video, you're gonna hear crickets.
You know what it is.
It's like when you're on the top of a mountain and it's like when you
Oh shit! But we done, man. Holla at us, man. You know what it is.